Thank you very much. Um, it's a beautiful thing to have such updates going on in Europe. We don't normally have news like this, so you're doing a great job giving us the Nigerian news and also taking the European international news back to Nigeria. So we hope our the viewers can really get it and enjoy looking up looking up all time to your program. Real talk. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, back to what we talked about. It's actually a sobering. The video had a sobering effect on me. Anytime I've been viewing that video, that trending video on University of Nigeria in Nsukka. University of Nigeria in Nsukka happens to be the foremost university. Let me give a brief history of that university for people to understand why it is very important that that thing, whatever is happening at the moment in that university, has to be corrected. This university was established by a law to establish that university in the eastern region of Nigeria was passed in 1955. And then the premier of the then eastern region, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, actually made efforts. He took great steps to make sure that that university was, created. He got the United States of America and the United Kingdom involved in the planning of the physical and educational aspects of that university. And under the joint auspices of the Inter-University Council for Higher Education and Overseas and the International Cooperation Administration, now known as the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, the team surveyed the site at Nsukka and extensively investigated a great variety of factors pertinent to the establishment of a new university. The results of their efforts were contained in a white paper issued by the Eastern Nigeria government on 30th of November 1958. They had recommended that the development of the University of Nigeria, based upon the concept of service to problems and needs of Nigeria, is a desirable project and one that should receive support from any source which could help to make it a sound endeavor. Now, this university, at the end, came to fruition and became Nigeria's foremost university. Of course, some notable graduates of this university include former governor of Nigeria's Central Bank, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo. In fact, his deputy also, Tunde Lemo. Of course, you know about Dora Akunyele, the late former Director General of NAFDAC, the Drug Control Agency in Nigeria. You know about the legal luminary, Olisa Abakoba, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Because you know Professor Patu Tomi, you know late Tony Momo, you know former Governor Peter Obi, you know Biageli Ezekwesi, Sullivan Chime. In the entertainment, you know Yukeri Anonobi, you know former wife of late Biafran leader Bianca Odumegwu Ojukwu, you know Zach Oji, Chris Okotie, so many of them products of that great university. And today we're seeing this video. If you had seen this video, maybe if this video was shot during the daytime, I'm not sure you would be able to eat after seeing the gory sight. The residents where students of that university are made to leave after paying accommodation fees. No, this is not a zoo. This is not a zoo. This is not a dump site. This is a residence of students of that great university. This is where they stay. This is where they eat. This is where they sleep. This is where they cook. This is where they have their bath. This is where they do everything after lectures. They go back to these places and call it home. In a room in that university, officially it's supposed to be 6 people, but each room contains about, you end up seeing about 10 to 12 students in a room. It is quite sad. And this has generated a lot of reactions from people all over the internet. And while we are yet to hear from the university on this issue, it is something that calls for a quick action from the current Vice Chancellor, Professor Charles Igwe. Let me bring you in here at this point, Mr. Mark Godwin. Have you been able, what did you think when you saw this video trending? Yeah, that's a hostel, I know. I think that's an Njoku, part of an Njoku hostel in that Nsukka campus of University of Nigeria. That looks like a dump site, but this is actually a residence of students. Mr. Mark, what went through your mind when you saw these images?
If not for the hard knock life that has made us hardened, this is enough to cry all the day long. I mean, this is appalling. This is filth to the core. How could people live in such an environment? And I mean, why did this generate to this? What happened? How do you read and study in this kind of environment and have a sane mind and brain? You guys really tried to have been in this environment and still come out normal. I tell you, some people will not come out normal out of this. You go mental, you go mad, because this is squalor, this is filth, this is the words for this is not enough. It's not in the dictionary. It's a sad story, my brother. It's not pleasant at all. So we are calling up on the UNN officials in charge of the dormitories and the school facilities to come and answer questions on this. I mean, we need to know why this is happening. Take note, according to your brief history of UNN, UNN is also one of Africa's leading university. UNN, apart from the people it has produced, UNN has reckoned with top-notch. I mean, the level of education and teaching is equated to some of the big top-notch universities in the world. So, but when they see where these people are coming from, I tell you, they will cancel everything. They will cancel all these accolades that they give to UNN, because this is eyesore.
It's an eyesore indeed. It's an eyesore indeed.
It's an eyesore.
It's an eyesore indeed. I agree with you totally. I remember I've been to, when I graduated from that university, I remember when we were there, yeah, we saw these things. There are some things I cannot even begin to mention online. The inhuman conditions that we as students were subjected to, you know, where we lived. There was no water, or even though, yeah, students take a larger part of the blame to students who live like animals. Somebody will come out to the balcony and pee, you know, instead of going to the toilet. Yes, but sometimes you don't blame such students, because the toilets and those places are not places that you can. Sometimes when I think back, I wonder how we were able to survive going to those kind of places. Yeah, imagine you're having to make use of this kind of facility to pee. If you went there, the urge to pee would vanish immediately if anybody wanted to pee. Now, this is filth.
It's unbelievable.
There could be germs, different bacteria, you know, living here, and that could have affected anybody using these facilities. These things were provided for in those early days, and they were well taken care of. But these days, nobody takes care of them. Now, how much would it cost to just change 3 of these or number of these in the hostels? People pay, students pay for these things, and the government makes provisions. Unless it is not so, we expect the school, the university administration, to come out openly and issue a statement, defend themselves, or find solutions. You know, they could use endowments, they could use endowment programs. You have all these big guys. Somebody even suggested getting Obi Kubana, that showbiz billionaire, you know, raise funds from people like this. Excuse me. Raise funds from products of that university and tidy up some of these hostels. It takes nothing. It only takes sincerity. But when you bring in people who do not know the value of cleanliness and quality living, they would not know. They would think it's just normal. When you, I want to advise the administrators in UNN to challenge themselves and take a trip to University of Ibadan, the major contemporary of University of Nigeria. Go to University of Ibadan. There is a culture of maintenance, a very strong culture of maintenance in that university, where every building in that university is painted, repainted every year. Now, I can't remember the last time buildings in UNN were painted.
Also, sorry, Vincent, let me say that naturally, a lot of African people are naturally dirty. Like you've just said, the students also are to be blamed on this. I mean, we have this attitude of going to a restroom and leaving it worse than we met it. You know, that's one mentality many Africans have, Nigerians, and they even bring it even to Europe. You see where they stay rough, dirty, and you wonder why they live like that. People don't have that sense of decency, of
No,
organization and
yeah,
neatness.
but a serious leadership, a serious administration should also be able to fashion out means and measures, to checkmate these kind of things. We used to have what they call wing representatives those days in hostels. Looking at this place now in this video, this is a wing. Now, we used to nominate one individual to be a wing representative. If there is any issue here, the person handles it. Now, if anybody is seen misusing any university facility or any hostel facility, the person is reported and duly punished. For instance, you could make people sign undertakings before getting hostel accommodations that if you damage anything or if you are found in misusing any of the hostel facilities, you get expelled. Such strict measures should be put in place or enforced. I'm sure they are in place, but they should be duly enforced to make sure that students use those things well. And then on the part of the school, whatever they have to do, however they have to maintain these facilities, they should make sure that these things are maintained. And I also call on the alumni associations to come in this case. They should set out monitoring teams, monitoring groups to make sure that whatever fund, devoted or donated for these causes should be monitored and followed to the roots to make sure that they are judiciously used to carry out the jobs they were devoted for, and not, end up in an individual's the pockets of individuals, which is actually what we know has been happening all these years. In this case, I expect the university to come out, issue a statement, and not just issuing a statement, but do something about these structures we see. I am telling you, Mark, if these structures were not strongly built, maybe by good standards in those early 60s, by now they all would have collapsed. Because I remember some of these buildings, if you went to that in Njoko, there are places where you see buildings, the floors have parted, buildings are disintegrated, the walls of those buildings are cracked and separated. And yes, students are staying there. Now, you don't want to talk about a particular, an abandoned section of that campus called Zix Flats, donated a block of buildings, hostel buildings, donated by the late president of Nigeria, Nnamdi Azikiwe. Very close to where he stays in Osaka there. That one is a no-go area. I think it's gotten so bad that students were asked to leave, vacate the building, for their safety. And nothing has happened. Now, how much does it take to even erect a building? And these are just mini duplex, mini one-story buildings or two-story buildings. How much does it take to equip those things, make them habitable, put them in good order? It's appalling. It's not something anybody will be proud of. And coming out to say that you came out from this kind of university, I wonder how they look at products of these universities. Incidentally, they do well when they come out from these scholars. They go to better environments and excel. Telling you that, well, in Nigeria, with the hard life actually helps strengthen the people in there. But then it's not a justification to leave it in these conditions. So please, this university administration should do something about this. If they have challenges, they should let the world know. Then these graduates of this university would come together. There are so many alumni associations. They could come together and come to the aid of the university. It's very important. It's saddening, and no product of that university will be proud to identify with this university if we keep seeing these kind of images in the social media.